Hello, this is Justin with another Crossover Minute. This is actually about as freelance and freestyle as I've probably ever been. Just out of an opportunity, taking an opportunity to encourage people who may be going through situations that are hard to describe, hard to explain, with where they perceive God truly calling them into, and then for some reason it doesn't work out and they feel confused. Well, why did God do this? Was it really God? All those types of things. And I just had some recent conversation with someone who has just very recently experienced this, and I understand it pretty intimately. I would say there's two things that come from our discussion and just kind of sitting with God and with one another processing this. In his life, it had to do with an entire direction with his job, and like where his job and livelihood actually depended upon it, and it's now bringing him to a point to where he's completely considering a whole other thing that would have never even been a thought or a possibility had this thing gone through, that he felt very strongly, emphatically led into by God himself. So I think the first thing that stands out to me whenever anyone says that they feel like God led them somewhere, but then it didn't work out or fell through or it was a crash and burn or whatever, yes, the first thing is, are we, what are we defining as God's voice or his leading? How clear and uncluttered is our heart, our walk with God, our understanding of his spirit? Because there are some people, some circles, where hearing and following God's lead, his spirit, walking in the spirit, and all the different ways it's put, can be so, maybe perhaps, I don't know. I don't want to say not well taught, because they may explain it and take a lot of time with it. But it doesn't, even if it's well taught or explained or talked about a lot, doesn't mean it's well understood, because the things in the area of the soul can be so intertwined sometimes or overlap with the spirit. And because oftentimes, for one thing, when the spirit truly is moving, sometimes you feel, it feels a certain way. It feels good, or it has a certain sensation, peace and joy, and these other things, and the moving of God have a definite effect on the soul and our feelings. And so there has to be a point where we are differentiating between just those feelings and the actual voice or call or prompting of the Spirit apart from those feelings. And now it is one thing when God has a way of confirming something, like especially if it's emphatic, or repetitive, like very clear. It's like, okay, I totally get it. This definitely is God. But if it's just a quick prompt or nudge or a leading, I would venture to say the vast majority of the time it's not going to be an ecstatic, overwhelming feeling, but there will be some deep sense of purpose, some maybe accompanied with a holy fear or reverent, type thing. Long story short, though, is that when we try to force our way into trying to hear God with pressure and with stress, that's where we probably can have the opportunity, at least in my observation and previous experience, can get into actually missing it and thinking it's something as him when it's actually not, when it's our will or our leaning or So I would say there's a way to, when we perceive something, anything, and there is a way to step back and just let it, whatever it is, let it run its course. Because if it's God, it'll reverberate. If it's just a feeling, if it's just a whim or a desire or something that maybe God did a certain way or said a certain way in the past, but it's more of an emotional memory or something like that in a similar situation, but it actually wasn't God this time, it'll fade. It'll recede, and just like our feelings do, they rise, they fall like the tide, and they wash out. But when it's God, it's got its own life. It's got a life of its own, and it will reverberate, and it will confirm itself, and it will be something that you can't necessarily get away from, so to speak. Where you again, something that has a life of its own will continue to exist, and it will come back to us. It will tug again and again, or speak, or confirm, or however it does. So that's one thing. And so whatever that leading is, a lot of times, if God is truly speaking to us in a way that is so clear and emphatic, and not just giving us, healthy reasoning and choices, and mentoring us into making good, choices of our own, when he's really putting his hand on something, a lot of times we may need that extra confirmation that will come with that, because it may be an illogical move, either in the beginning or later stages of the process of following that. We may need that reminder of his confirmation, so it brings security to us, because in the natural it may be illogical, or it may require a major sacrifice, or laying something down that either we don't want to, or that it maybe we otherwise would have never even thought of or done. And when in those types of situations, God is gracious to really emphatically confirm, or at least very clearly firm or reaffirm, whatever he's leading us into in those things. And so, and that was the case with my friend. And so those are the first things just off the top. But then let's say that pans out, and it really is God bringing us to a direction, or a change, or a decision, or to release, or to take on something, or to change something, or whatever it is, on whatever scale or level, what area of life, and we do it. And assuming that we are handling this, or operating in a godly way, we're not like being abusive or sinful with it, or something that's destructive, that's opening a door to loss or destruction. Assuming that we're handling, walking this out well, and then we hit a wall, or it fails, or it doesn't go through, or whatever. It doesn't go as you would think, or as we expected or thought, especially if it's something God is really directing us into. What do we do with that? Why is that? Why would that even happen? Well, there could be many different reasons for that. I can share a bit about what my brother experienced, and I've had the same experience, so it really resonates with me. One reason, and some may relate to this, is that if we were to have this opportunity, or this situation, or leading, or open door in a previous stage of our life and our journey with God, we may have handled it differently. We may have had a different approach to it, maybe more obsessive, or codependent, or leaning on it and forgetting God, or just in general may have said it may have been a really good thing to have long term, but we may have been satisfied with that. What if God is showing us, just bringing us to just a temporary season of, let me just show you where you've been, and where compared to where you are now. Or maybe if it's something that we've done similar in the past, and it opens up again, but we can see now the difference of who we are now than who we were back when we had that same opportunity in the past, or that same situation, or whatever it may be. Maybe there's a really important lesson that we are growing into, and understanding regarding just where we are, where we were, where we aren't, and just how our perspective, our values, our interest, what's important to us, or those other things have changed, or just to show us, hey, if it's not something familiar from the past, but it is a new opportunity that looks like, oh, this would be great, this looks like a career move, or this looks like a ministry that would be amazing for years to come, or whatever, and it doesn't pan out, maybe it's showing us that, hey, first of all, you're just having an opportunity to be in obedience. Whether it worked out or not, you showed obedience. Or secondly, I'm showing you this, and yes, this is something that some people, maybe many people have, and you could have if I'm called you to it, but I'm just showing you that this is not what I have for you, because you're on a different, I'm calling you to a different plane, a different arena of operation, a different, I don't want to get weird, or, with my words, and I want to stay very founded and biblical, but just in a different way than a stereotypical or traditional way, or what could be for your life, or what many people may have. I've called you differently than this, and I just want you to see it, that this is an arena that many people have, but I have something different and special for you, that, and that's a very real thing. That's what my brother is actually experiencing, and that led to him just stepping way back with God and exploring areas of his heart and life and God's call in a way that he wasn't even aware of. It wasn't really on his radar, or that he would have never done if that had continued to pan out. And now it's opening something that is not only for him, but his marriage and some other things are there's such a beautiful array of domino effect that's taking place, all because this thing did not work out. Or at least that was a catalyst. It was like the hinge on a door for him. It's one thing. It's, we could go back 2,000 years ago. They followed Jesus, and it led them to a garden of intense prayer that his closest ones could not stay awake to pray with, and led to an arrest. It led to a torturous, abusive trial overnight. It led to abandonment it led to confusion and hurt and disillusionment, and a cross that the people, who knows what they thought, as far as, well, first of all, if nothing else, that's someone that they so dearly cherished and loved, and he was being, tortured and then crucified. Secondly, for those who really truly believe in him as Savior, it was turning the world upside down, because he's supposed to be the Savior. Why would he be dying? And why did he willingly give himself to? And thirdly, why is he not saving himself? He saved so many other people for so many things. Why is he not? And fourthly, what about this, for many of them that thought he was going to actually redeem Israel as a nation? What is our king doing on a cross, who's going to actually lead an overhaul and get Israel reestablished as a nation now? And who knows whatever other thoughts or feelings, that they're following Jesus for 3.5 years up to that, for those earliest on, had led to this failure, this wall, and is that on a large, massive, ultimate scale not the same thing? Where if not for that, it could have not led to the resurrection and the ascension and the giving of the Holy Spirit and us calling upon him and actually having our spirits regenerated, because God was operating through Jesus alone and administering his power and healing and comforting people, but only in a singular position, to where people, but now through his death and resurrection, that now we have a sacrifice for sin that actually cleanses us from sin and doesn't keep forbearing it. And secondly, he is able to, through the Holy Spirit, be in everyone's heart and with everyone, and not just in one locality in the earth, or his presence in the Holy of Holies in the temple, or in a tabernacle, or whatever form that they would have at that time. So everything looked great that first 3.5 years. Oh, let's just keep doing this the rest of our lives, and then maybe we'll carry on the ministry and just keep going. Okay, yeah, that would be interesting and good, and there'd be a lot, but it was far beneath the plans and the thoughts and the purposes that God had for the people and for the earth. And so it's not uncommon, it's not a new or odd thing that God does lead us into places or into ways that actually fail. It's not about success, it's about obedience. It's about humble surrender and obedience and availability to him and to his heart, and thus feeling his heart for people and for life and people in need. Then our hearts breaking for those and responding and being available to people out of a heart of compassion, and out of a heart of compassion for the people and passion for God. And the results, or whatever happens to that, that's God's business, because it's not about success, it's not about legacy, it's about obedience, and it's about discipleship and mentorship and investing in people's hearts and souls, and leaving people a better or different, different than what they were before we ever engaged them or interacted with them on any level, in any way, any amount, short or long, extended or brief amount of time. So I hope and pray that if you're in the place like this, that this, or if you've been through that and you haven't really, as you've come through it, you haven't really come out of it yet, or you haven't really understood, or it's like confusing. Hey, we're sitting together in this. There's many of us that have had this type of experience, and it's okay. It's really okay. It's not God tricking us or dangling something and then dipping it away and saying, I'm just playing with you like a pawn or like a chess piece or a little game no, it's not. That's not the way he is. He is such a mentor. He is such a rabbi. He is such a father, a gentle, loving, amazing father. He doesn't just tell us stuff. He will, but he doesn't just tell us stuff to know. He allows us to literally walk in the fabric of his word in 3 and 4 dimension, and to walk, to touch, to feel, experience, to interact with it, for it to come in and out of our heart and soul, and us live it out and see with clarity how it is, and then be able to walk through that with him and learn and grow from that. It's to the point to where it soaks into us and becomes part of us. It becomes part of who we are, and we're able to operate. We're able to, first of all, just be so different, literally, not just know more, but to be so much different than we were beforehand. And then from that place, and where we, in the process of learning and growing into the lesson we learned, but we also have grown in intimacy and trust and faith and faith as of a child unto obedience in a way that we hadn't beforehand. We have that opportunity to so cultivate and deepen our trust and our surrender and our intimacy with him, and our ability to have resilience in our spirit, to be strengthened with might by his spirit in us. And so it is a beautiful season and opportunity when we go through those things, including the times when we hit a wall or it fails. Now, of course, again, we assumed that it wasn't us doing things to open up a destructive door of sin or of other things that would, mishandling or not being a good steward of the person, the situation, the people, the place, the opportunity, or whatever, because those types of things are also hard lessons that we also have to grow and learn through, that God is so patient and generous and gentle with us, but said, see, I'll give you that back again. We'll circle back to it, but you need to grow in the way that you manage or steward those people, those relationships, those situations, those things, those opportunities, or whatever. And he'll show us where we need to grow in through that failure or through that whatever, if it is in fact something to do with us, But either way, whatever the case is, it's growing in intimacy and growing in surrender and identifying ways to come to deeper places of surrender or have more clarity and understanding of where God is really calling us, as opposed to where we thought maybe we would be longer term. It's a journey, it's an adventure, and it's a beautiful walk with him, an intimate walk with him. And so I pray that you would be encouraged and inspired and ignited in your spirit, and that there would be great clarity that breathes through your heart and soul and reverberates within you. And you would be able to see with 2020 hindsight and a little bit of 2020 foresight too, hopefully. But may you be greatly blessed and just have a tenderness in your conscience, and awareness of those things that need surrendered, those things that need repented of, those things that need to be offered to him, those things that need to be received of him and walked in. And I bless you in this way, in the name of Jesus. Until next time, this is Justin with another Crossover Minute Plus.